Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let us get right to that news.
Alright, first story up today. Andor costumes and new story details were on display at San Diego Comic-Con. Star Wars doesn't have like a major presence at Comic-Con this year. I mean, we did just have Celebration. Yeah. D23 is coming up after that. But they still brought some goodies. A number of the official costumes made their way into the Lucasfilm Pavilion, including some from Andor. The costumes themselves are the ones we've seen before, but they do carry some detail plaques with them. We know in this upcoming series, Cassian's in like the early days of the Rebellion. It turns out we're actually going to see his induction into the Rebel ranks. So that's kind of cool. We're going to see him actually join the Rebellion. Like a picture with his costume, I've got it up there, I'm sure. As part of his entry into the growing rebellion, Cassian Andor must undertake a new and dangerous mission on Aldhani. That's a new location, too.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. And as his entry into a growing rebellion. So he's not in the rebellion. It's like his loyalty
Yeah,
test.
I mean, that's how it should be, right? We should get the backstory, get his early days, and see what brings him into the rebellion. See who he is when he joins the rebellion.
Yeah,
because we know who he is when he exits via big explosion.
Right, we know that he started doing terrible things in the name of the rebellion, but is it because he showed signs of that early on? I mean, who is he to start with?
Which way does he start as the kind of I'll do whatever you need kind of guy, or does he slowly become that? I guess that's the question with Andor right now.
It is a very interesting question, because we know where he needs to be by the time of Rogue One.
Yeah.
He needs to be this cutthroat, I will do anything to succeed guy who kills his own informant in the back at the beginning of Rogue One.
I mean, I'm kind of assuming he starts out, because he's, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. That's the one quote everybody seems to know from Andor. So I'm assuming he's going to start out pretty shady to begin with. Mm-hmm. Though I think it would kind of be interesting if he starts out really young and we see, because we've seen I think a young Andor actor in there. So maybe we'll see we'll get some backstory there, some flashbacks, and see what kind of really, sends him down the shady path, I guess. I don't want to call it the dark path, but that shadier good path, or whatever you want to call it. Shadier good. Yeah.
Up next, we saw a dress from Mon Mothma, played by Genevieve O'Reilly. We all know we're going back to Coruscant. We haven't been back there for a while.
We've caught glimpses of it here and there. We saw it in Kenobi, the background there, in the temple.
The description on her costume is the Imperial Senator from Chandrila. Mon Mothma carefully navigates the dangerous shadows of Coruscant politics in her efforts to build a rebellion.
So it's interesting that she's rebuilding the rebellion at this point. Or I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, she's going from a counselor who, a senator who just wanted to do the right thing for the Republic, to someone who's now going to go against the Empire.
Yeah, well, she's already was speaking out. I mean, in the deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith, which deleted, but they're good. I mean,
they are good.
It's kind of a shame they did delete them, but I kind of understand because they do kind of slow down and they kind of take us on a different path. But it does show the very, very original thoughts of the rebellion, if you will. This is, they were already like, this isn't good. We got this 2,000, the delegation of 2,000. There's 2,000 senators already not really happy with what's going on. So it does add a lot of context, and I wonder if they will make any reference to those deleted scenes.
That would be
not
cool.
Like to the scenes themselves, but to what, the early days that even back then they were having some issues with Palpatine.
Right. Well, I'm curious then, does that mean Bail Organa will be in the show? Because we know he's a player.
Right? He has to be in this show.
I mean,
I'd be stunned if...
Did he take just a political leave for their new baby?
I've been on leave for 20 years. No, but he was back for Kenobi. I'm assuming he'd come back for this as well. I don't think he's going to be a main character, but him not showing up in a story that is about the foundation of the rebellion would be very strange. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I do like that scene from the trailer where you see, because they do that thing where they flash from a bunch of characters from behind, and when you see her in the Senate chambers from behind, there's only a few lit up pods. That's a pretty empty, it's like the galaxy maybe gave up hope, or they don't, they're pretty much starting the dismantling of the Senate that we know.
Yeah, the first time I saw the trailer, I thought it was empty, and she's just kind of looking out at the Senate, and no, that's actually, she's probably talking to virtually nobody, because everybody's the known unknown that the Imperial Senate is just kind of a puppet, kind of,
It's a puppet, and we know Palpatine, that by the very they were pretty much had it almost like fully dismantled at the beginning of New Hope.
They did. That's the line in A New Hope. He's done away, and they're like, well, how is he gonna maintain the bureaucracy? And, well,
he's not.
People like me, Grand Moff Tarkin, are gonna take over a little bit more. That's kind of what happened. So we know it's leading up to that moment in A New Hope where they're like, yeah, we're disbanding this thing. No reason to keep the charade anymore. We got everybody in line.
All right. And as the final peek from Comic-Con, we learned and we got to see in person the new droid, B2EMO, the close companion and family friend to Cassian. The description on that reads, B2EMO, or B2, or more simply B, is an old and weary ground mech salvage assistant unit that's been towing scrap for Andor's family for years. The droid has a wide array of mechanical tools and various capabilities to meet the functions required.
Well, it was you who kind of had the idea, I think, that what if this droid becomes K2?
I did have that passing thought.
Yeah, like
what if something happens to the droid, but he manages to save his memory, and then he uses that to override the Imperial security droid.
Yeah, we kind of saw something like that in a Solo with the Falcon and L3 and all that. But
we also saw that in the comics with Mr. Bones.
Oh, we did see that with the droid from Aftermath. You loved Mr. Bones. I know a lot of people out there really like Mr. Bones. I was like, yeah,
hugs are violence made of love.
Yes. If you never read Aftermath, it's Snap Wexley has a pet battle droid.
It's not a pet. It's his friend.
Well, it's not a pet because it can be quite violent too. So
it's very violent. It doesn't understand, and it covers itself with like bones and.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange. I don't know. Some people really like it. I'm neutral. It is what it is. Fine.
Okay, let's move on to the next story today. Ashley Eckstein shares her enthusiasm about voicing Ahsoka again in Tales of the Jedi. Normally, I would have skipped this article, but I found something interesting within it. You'll see if you find it.
I think it's interesting. Just, I kind of do feel bad for her because now I'm going way off topic. I know because you have something, but I do feel bad for her because that is her character, right? Mm-hmm. Ashley Eckstein and Ahsoka Tano are almost one, and she's made such a career off the character too with her own clothing line and all these things, so it's got to be rough for her. And I'm not saying she's jealous or upset at Rosario Dawson, but it's got to be hard to have this character that has been you almost taken away from you in a way. But anyway, go on.
Right. As announced during Celebration, Tales of the Jedi will be a limited animated series of short stories created by Filoni. It will be set during the prequel era and will fill in some of the gaps of our favorite characters, including Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn.
And Ahsoka.
And with Filoni writing Ahsoka, she will also be a major role in the series, with Ashley Eckstein returning to voice the character.
No, I think that's great. Like I said, I'm glad she gets to come back. I have nothing against Rosario Dawson. I hope she does fantastic in the Ahsoka series. But for me, Ashley Eckstein is Ahsoka.
Right, speaking with the SFS Gazette, Eckstein shared her enthusiasm about coming back to voice Ahsoka in the new animated project. I'm just beyond honored to step back into Ahsoka's boots and breathe life into her again for Tales of the Jedi. Dave promised me I would always be the voice of Ahsoka in animation, and I'm thrilled to return and so excited. The shorts are beautiful, the stories are wonderful, I can't wait to share them with everyone.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Where did she get the promise from? Dave, they replaced me, you promised.
Like I said, I'm sure there were hurt feelings a little bit, right? There has to be. You're only human, or Togruta. I mean...
When asked about sharing the part with Rosario Dawson, she added, "Yeah, it's very exciting. It's something I've always approached with so much gratitude. I don't look at what I'm not doing, I look at what I have been able to do. Every new opportunity I'm so grateful for. I'm honored to be able to do Tales of the Jedi, and when I'm not filling Ahsoka's boots in animation, I've made it literally my life's goal to be a real-life version of her day in and day out. She's a piece of my heart and soul and guides my everyday decisions. I'm thrilled to be able to carry out Ahsoka's legacy in my daily works as well. I can't wait to share that show with everyone."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what I was saying. Sorry,
I feel like she is slighted.
Well, of course she is. What she said. That's only. It's like I said. It's only human. I wouldn't blame her at all. You couldn't blame her at all.
She's not playing the live action one, but she's made it her life to literally be the live action version of her.
Yes, like I said, her whole. And I'm not trying to criticize this, but I mean, her whole kind of identity and professional life is Ahsoka. That is what she is known for above anything and everything else she's done. And she has the clothing line, which is tied in with Star Wars and Ahsoka. So it has to be hard. And no blame to her, no blame to Rosario, no blame to Filoni or anybody. That's just the reality of the business, and I think she certainly understands that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Ahsoka will be the focus of 3 out of the 6 episodes of Tales of the Jedi. Liam Neeson is coming back to voice Qui-Gon Jinn as well, with his son doing the voice for young Qui-Gon. The series will debut on Disney Plus sometime this fall.
I am looking forward to this. I know I talk about I'm tired of prequels, but it's Clone Wars, so I make an exception for anything Clone Wars era related or prequel era related. I love that time period, so I'm cool with that. And there's some of my favorite characters. I mean, Ahsoka and Qui-Gon, two top 5 characters right there. Yeah, bring it on.
I think Ashley Eckstein has a darkness inside of her that she doesn't let out. There's too much bubbly pink happiness. I read her inspirational book. She's like, when I'm sad, I just eat a cupcake. She's too bubbly. She's too perfect. There's a dark soul resting within her.
Wow.
I feel it.
You think she would be? You think she's like Anakin, like on the surface? You think, yeah, this one's got it together. But then there's these moments where you're like, oh, maybe not. And then when they go dark side, it's just full on.
Like the moment she learned Rosario Dawson was playing her in live action, I can see like the Sith eyes came out.
She was eating a lot of cupcakes that day.
Baker's dozen.
Yes.
No, she probably doesn't. It's just something I imagine in my spare time for fun.
That's a weird thing to spend
beneath that happy-go-lucky veneer.
Yeah.
There's the deep darkness of Ashley Eckstein.
No one could be that good and bubbly all the time.
It started forming when the live-action Ahsoka was announced. She never got called.
Yeah, that's odd. I didn't get a Rosario Dawson.
How come I found out with everyone else?
Yeah, no, I'm sure she didn't. I'm sure she was talked to first. If not, then
when she saw that tweet using her quotes, calling him Sky Guy.
Hey, Sky Guy.
You know that had to it's like another cut. She's like, physical blow.
I hope that's not true, but I hope she doesn't somehow randomly, of all the videos she would maybe watch, hear you kind of talking and discovering your secret, and then we have her knocking at our door trying to kill you.
Oh, she would. The darkness.
I know, that's if she's her. Yeah. No, I'm just joking around.
She never watched this video.
I know. Believe me, I know.
If she did show up, I'd ask her to autograph my book.
The most ridiculous part about that was her watching the video, not her randomly showing up at our door to kill you. That was more believable.
No, if she showed up, I'd ask her to autograph her biography book that I bought.
I would ask her to autograph one of my 800 Ahsoka items around the house.
Autograph the Ahsoka novel.
Yeah.
Because that's her.
Cross out the parts that they decanonized because of the Siege of Mandalore.
Yes. I would like an erotic version, please. You take out the Siege of Mandalore and everything else in the book is fine.
Yes, it is. Maybe it's just the interlude flashback. Yeah, she hit her head. That's what it's your Leia theory all over again. She hits her head and forgets.
Yeah, let's move on. Our last article today, Hasbro, the fate of the bubble in the plastic-free Black series. I labeled the title myself. Okay. The fate of the bubble. I think that was an important one. Whatever. So we finally do have some news on the plastic-free Hasbro promise. They lied.
Good.
Yay.
The best lie ever.
Good news for Star Wars Vintage Collection, Star Wars Retro Collection, Marvel Retro, and G.I. Joe Retro. They're retaining their plastic bubble.
Yay.
They came to the same conclusion that everyone else already knew. Most fans of those particular lines don't remove them from the packaging and will display them thusly.
Yep. I mean, that's part of the actual product, I think. Yeah. I think they even said something like that, didn't they? They were like, we realize this is kind of
I have the actual tweet or whatever release up on the screen.
No, but I think a good majority of people who collect the retro stuff or the vintage keep them on card. But I'm sure a lot of people open them too. But, I mean, for me, every vintage collection thing I have is still on card or in box.
Yeah, so there's a small win in the war on Hasbro.
The war on plastic against the war on plastic, I guess.
Back to the Black series, we have an image up there of their plastic-free packaging, and I hate it. There's no window, no pull-out sleeve, no way to see the figure in advance without opening the package, which I'm sure they don't want you to do in the store.
Well, no.
I was hoping for at least, the way the comic series ones are, with that Velcro open-up design with no plastic and just zip-tying everything in. I mean, if someone's going to steal items or steal the figure, they're going to steal them regardless of the packaging. At least make sure I can open it and check it for paint apps.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Instead
Because
of
you
everything's
are
there.
the Paint app pro. Like whenever we buy them in store, because that doesn't happen often anymore. Because
Not terribly
most
often,
of the things
though.
are online. But you are the paint app hawk. You're just this one has a little smudge here. This one's cleaner on here. So
What I think is this is going to ruin people buying them in store.
well, I think it's already ruined though. I mean,
I know, but
it's
this will
almost
make
like
it
the
worse.
death rows here.
Nobody
Like,
wants. I don't want to buy a figure in store with the fact that I might walk out of there and have random who knows what shoved into the box.
yeah. No, I agree. I think it's just
This is the death of buying them in store at all. Now, if you don't buy them from some sort of an online, fandom channel or an online through the online retailers for anything that comes through distributions, then you've got no guarantee if you even got the right figure in the box, and you'll just have to fix any paint apps and stuff yourself now.
in all reality, like as somebody who opens Black Series, I vintage collection, mint on card, Black Series, I open everything. So you could put that thing in a little cardboard box, plain cardboard box, and ship it to me. I could care less about the outside packaging. So
as long as it's in there.
Yeah, I almost wish, considering how poor retail is at this point, that nobody is going. I mean, a few people are going to stores and actually finding and buying things at retail anymore. I think so. At your local Walmart, Target, whatever
It might be part of the reason that those aisles are always so empty of product. They're not getting them, and why would they?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to buy them online.
Well, my point is, why don't we just cut out the BS already of the retail stores, other than them getting their exclusives, and I guess let them keep their exclusives, and just you go all in on Hasbro Pulse, and if you want the figure, just the figure in a cardboard box or whatever they're going to ship it in, fine. If you want to pay more for the packaging, do it that way. I mean, if they subtracted, I don't really care about the $1 or $2, but just subtracting $1 or $2 is great. Go ahead, do that, and send me it in a box that I don't care about anyway.
Might as
and then
well
you save even more plastic and trees and everything else.
And time, because you don't have to worry about printing those images and stuff on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ink and everything else. You
would just have like a box and say this is.
Yeah, just put Stormtrooper on the dang thing. I don't care. I'm opening it and discarding it anyway. So
might as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's all we got for you this time. A wide variety of topics today.
Isn't
I think
that enough?
I think it is. But anyway, let us know what you thought of any of today's stories, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time.
Talk about the dark side of Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah, weird theories. I don't know how we get off on these tangents sometimes. But anyway, thanks for watching.